Thank you, everyone. Good morning. Thank you to everyone. First of all, thank you for Mr. Kim for being here, and thank you everyone for making it here on a Saturday morning. Let me just briefly introduce myself. I am Maria Chaudhry. I teach creative writing and creative communications at Hong Kong University, and I'm also a writer. And I'm very honored to be here with Mr. Kim Ho-yeon today to talk about his very wonderful and successful experience as a screenwriter and novelist in Korea. So what I will do is I'll just start off with a brief overlook of his experiences, and then we'll start the session where I will ask him about his experience more specifically. So Mr. Kim Ho-yeon has been a screenwriter for 20 years and a novelist for 10 years, and has made a living as a storyteller in the Korean content industry. He will talk to the audience about the strength of the Korean story industry and what it's like to be a novelist and a screenwriter. Mr. Kim began his career as a film screenwriter in 2001 after graduating from university. The year 2001 was the beginning of a renaissance in the Korean film industry, following the success of several Korean directors who brought the Korean film industry to global recognition in Korean cinema. Since then, Mr. Kim has continued to work as a screenwriter and has been at the forefront of Korean film screenwriting, working with a number of well-known directors and producers. He has worked at the writing teams of the director Kim Yong-hwa for Along with the Gods, and the director Kang Jae-kyu of Taegukgi. Please forgive me if I'm pronouncing things wrong, and has worked with major production companies such as CJ Entertainment. His screenwriting credits include Double Agent, 2003, Heartbreak Hotel, 2015, and The Fortress, 2018. But behind the scenes, he has gained storytelling know-how and hard work from working with numerous Korean filmmakers. This was also a major influence on Mr. Kim's pivot as a novelist. As a novelist, Mr. Kim Ho-yeon made his debut in 2013 with Mangwon-dong Brothers, which won the World Literature Prize for Excellence. Since then, he has continued his career as a novelist by publishing a novel every 2 years, which, by the way, I find to be an unbelievable feat. In 2021, his fifth novel, The Second Chance Convenience Store, became a huge hit, establishing him as one of Korea's leading novelists. It is a million seller with sales of 1.5 million copies, including the sequel, The Second Chance Convenience Store 2, and was named Book of the Year in more than 40 cities across the country. It is currently being performed as a play and will soon be adapted into a webtoon and drama. It has also been published in 23 countries worldwide. The Taiwanese edition recorded sales of 0.1 million copies within 1 year from the publication date and did not miss out on first place in the translated novel category in 2023. As a result, he was selected as ESLATE's best foreign literature writer. The Japanese edition has been selected for third place in foreign literature of the Japan Booksellers Award 2024, one of the most well-known literary awards in Japan. It has been best-selling title in Taiwan, Brazil, Spain, Italy, Thailand, and Poland, and will soon be published in English by HarperCollins in the US. All of his novels are in the process of being made into movies. So that's I'm sure many of you already knew much of Mr. Kim's prolific writing background. this is also his, even though he lives so close to us in Seoul, this is also his first time in Hong Kong, as he was just telling me. So maybe we can just start off just talking a little bit about his experience in Hong Kong so far, and how do you like it?
예.
홍콩에 처음 오셨는데 여태까지 어떤 경험하셨으며
네, 네.
경험이 어떠십니까?
홍콩은 제게 발견되지 않은 여행지였습니다.
Yeah, Hong Kong is a place that I haven't discovered so far.
굉장히 크게 후회하고 있고요. 여지껏 오지 못한 것에 대해서.
I am regretting so much that I haven't come to Hong Kong much earlier than this time.
예전에는 왜냐하면 제가 그리 여유가 있지 못해서 홍콩은 좀 항상 그 럭셔리하다는 생각에 올 수가 없었고.
Before, my financial situation was not great, and Hong Kong was somewhere like a luxurious city, somewhere in the world, in my mind.
이제 좀 경제적 여유가 생겼더니 시간이 없어서 홍콩에 또 못 오게 되었습니다.
But since I had financial relaxation a bit a few years ago, but then now I don't have much time in my hands, so I haven't had the chance to come to Hong Kong until now.
그것이 항상 인생에 두 가지를 가질 수 없다는 진실을 알려주고 있는데요.
That is kind of the truth about our life. When we live in the world, you cannot have everything. If you have two great things in mind you want to achieve, you can achieve maybe one. That's if you're lucky.
이번에 홍콩 도서전 측에서 저에게 일과 시간을 한꺼번에 제공해 주어 정말 기쁜 마음으로 홍콩의 여름에 여러분을 찾아뵙기 위해 찾아왔습니다.
I'm so delighted that the Hong Kong TDC actually they were arranging the book fair and they invited me directly, involving both work and financial, means plus and leisure. So I'm so delighted to be here for this occasion.
홍콩에 엊그제 왔고요. 제가 예상한 그대로 정말로 판타스틱하고 그리고 제가 홍콩 영화에서 봤던 그 모든 것들이 완벽하게 제 눈앞에서 펼쳐지고 있었습니다.
I arrived in Hong Kong the day before yesterday, and Hong Kong didn't disappoint me. All the fantasy I had so far in my mind when I was growing up, I grew up watching Hong Kong movies, and those places appeared in Hong Kong movies were still there. So I was visiting all those places, and I was so happy and delighted that, it's exactly what I imagined. Hong Kong is a fantastic place.
그리고 사실 고백하자면 홍콩에 한번 오긴 했는데 작년에 태국에 초대받아 가는 중에 홍콩 공항에 잠깐 경유하긴 했습니다.
Actually, to tell you the truth, I've been to Hong Kong, but transiting last year, tour. I was invited to Thailand to give a talk, so I was in the Hong Kong International Airport, but that was all.
And then 홍콩 공항에서 제가 서점에 갔는데 거기 불편한 편의점이 있는 것을 보고 굉장히 큰 감동을 받았습니다.
And I was so surprised while I was transiting. I had some time, so I looked around, looked for a bookshop, and in the international airport, Hong Kong International Airport, there's a bookshop, and I found my book translated into Chinese. So I was so impressed and happy.
그래서 이제 다시 꼭 홍콩에 오고자 했고 이렇게 와서 제가 예상한 독자 여러분들을 그대로 만나게 돼서 너무나 기쁩니다. 감사합니다.
So I thought I might be able to come back to Hong Kong to meet the readers, and I was hoping that I should be invited, and then now that's realized today. So I'm so delighted to meet you in front of me, the readers who probably like my books.
Well, you certainly manifested that, and we're so glad that you're here. So that's a good segue into the next question I have for you, which is that, you've been in the storytelling business in different capacities for 20 years now. And you started off as a screenwriter, also known as a scenario writer in Korea. So And I know that just from our conversations before the session that this is probably true of many artists and writers around the world. But coming back to your specific experience, you've hit your own frustrations, and there came a point in your life early on where you even thought that, okay, maybe this isn't for me, maybe storytelling, maybe writing isn't for me. But then you sort of pushed on and you continued, and now, you are where you are. So would you talk to us a little bit about that journey and the difficulties you had before you came to success?
설필할 그런 위기감도 있었지만 계속적으로 한 결과 성공하게 된 그 지금까지 걸어오신 여정, 작가로서의 여정.
네, 그 굉장히 제가 많이 받는 질문이고, 예,
It's one of the most frequent questions that I receive.
많은 분들이 저의 고통에 대해 관심을 많이 가지셨습니다.
Many people are interested in my suffering as a writer.
근데 제가
Human condition, we're all interested in suffering.
야, 위에 더 매저키스트. 야, 제가 한 가지 그런 많은 질문을 받으면서 제가 정리한 저 딱 한 가지는
So I actually made it into a simple answer because I get asked this question so many times.
또 글쓰기는 그리고 이 스토리텔링이라는 이 글쓰기는 굉장히 힘들고 지난한 일이다. 하지만 그것이 내가 좋아하는 일이라면 할 수 있다.
Writing or storytelling is a very difficult and time-consuming process. Normal people may want to give up, but if you like writing and storytelling, then you can continue.
그러니까 제가 이게 어려운 일이고 힘든 일이지만 제가 좋아하지 않는 일이었다면 할 수 없었을 것입니다. 힘들지만 좋아하는 일이니까 할 수 있다고 생각합니다.
It is difficult and very requiring a lot of perseverance, a job that requires a lot of patience, and it's a difficult process. But if you, I know that it is difficult, but if I like it, then I decided that I like it, and I continue to write, and that brought me into this place.
어차피 인생은 힘들고 당신이 하려고 하는 일은 다 힘듭니다. 그러니까 가능하면 좋아하는 일을 찾으십시오.
So life is difficult, and what you want to do you may find is difficult to achieve, but therefore you have to find something that you really like. Then you just continue with patience.
So let me narrow that question down for you, because you've been asked this a lot, so I don't want you to have to repeat yourself. But was there a particular moment or a person or an event or a thought, some kind of epiphany that made you feel like, okay, all right, well, despite the suffering, I'm just going to keep doing this, Because I think as writers, as any kind of artist, we all sort of find ourselves in that moment in some form or manner at some point in our journey, So it's always helpful to know how another artist may have dealt with this or what made them, keep going.
그러니까 그런 계기가 그 어떤 순간이라든가 어떤 영향을 준 인물이라든가 어떤 것을 읽었을 적에 깨달음 그런 것이 있었는지 그래서 모든 사람들이 어떤 글쓰기에 어려움을 느끼는데 다른 그 글쓰기에 계속 하면서 성공하다 안 하든 그런 분들을 보면서 어떤 인사이트를 받고 싶은 분들이 굉장히 많습니다. 그래서 그런 계기가 있었거나 그런 어떤
인사이트를 좀 말씀해달라. 예, 저만의 오케이. And to me, 저에게는 저는 일단 체력을 키웠어요. 글쓰기는 노동입니다. 그러니까 일종의 육체 노동과 다르지 않습니다. 글쓰기를 그냥 머리에서 생각해 쓴다고 하면 안 되고요. 육체 노동이라고 생각하고 체력적으로 강해져야 됩니다.
I thought to be able to write well, you have to be healthy, and it's a physical job, physically very demanding job. So I regarded myself as a laborer. So I started to build up my physical strength.
그리고 책을 많이 읽으셔야 됩니다. 결국은 우리는 책을 이야기를 스토리를 쓰는 사람이기 때문에 스토리를 많이 접해야 됩니다. 물론 영상 작가든 드라마 작가든 시나리오 작가는 책을 안 읽어도 되지 않냐, 영화를 많이 보면 되지 않냐는 의견이 있는데 절대 그렇지 않습니다. 시나리오나 드라마, TV 드라마도 결국은 이 문자로 완성되는 대본이기 때문에 우리 스토리텔링 분야에서 일하는 사람들은 무조건 책을 많이 읽어야 됩니다. 다양한 종류의 책을 많이 읽어야 됩니다. 독서가 중요하다는 말씀을 드리고 싶습니다.
Second secret to be successful book writer is you have to read books, a lot of books, many different genre books, like scenarios or drama. Or some people, screenwriters tell me that well, maybe I can just watch a lot of movies, but that doesn't work like that because all those scenarios are based on writing, you know. So you have to read a lot. That's the second insight.
이게 책을 많이 읽다 보면 또 장점이 있어요. 어떤 책을 읽으면 야, 이런 것도 책으로 나오네. 나도 쓸 수 있겠다는 자신감을 얻을 수 있습니다.
Sometimes when you read books, then you get such a moment that even this can be made into books. This kind of story can be successful, made into books. Then maybe what I have in mind, that fleeting moments, I had this in mind about writing. Then maybe I can start on writing. So this kind of benefit is what you get by reading so many different stories, and you find so many materials in those books.
And my last one special advice about writing, you must 한국어로 할게.
Very
Sorry,
good English.
poor English야. 뭐냐면 그 책상에 글 쓰기 전에 글감을 머리에 다 생각해 놓고 책상에 앉아야 됩니다.라는 말을 하고 싶습니다.
So my special insight is that you don't just sit in front of desk hoping that something will come up and you'll start writing. No, my attitude in writing is you have something in your brain, in your mind first. And then you go to the desk and then write immediately. So that's my insight.
왜냐하면 이게 책상에 의자에 앉고 이제 뭘 쓸까 하면은 이거는 이 엉덩이를 고문하는 일일 뿐이고 여러분이 어떻게 쓸지를 다 생각해 놓은 다음 책상에 앉아서 빨리 쓰고 이제 몸을 쉬게 해야 됩니다.
You have to care for your body because if you just go to the desk and sit down and think about what to write, then it's a torture for your bottom. So you have to think about your welfare, about your body.
To me, and 저는 산책을 합니다. 그래서 1시간 동안 산책을 하면서 산책할 때 생각이 많이 납니다. 아이디어가. 그 산책하면서 오늘 그 책상에서 쓸 아이디어를 다 짜고 그다음 앉아서 글을 씁니다. 그리고 생각이 또 안 떠오르면 다시 산책을 합니다. 그런 식으로 자기만의 그 생각이 떠오르는 산책로를 찾든 혹은 반신욕을 하든 혹은 운동을 하든 그 이제 아이디어를 떠올리는 자기만의 이제 루틴을 만들고 그다음 책상에 앉아야 된다는 말을 꼭 드리고 싶습니다.
So I want to emphasize this point because everybody has different kind of having inspiration. So for me, I go for a walk. I go for a stroll for about an hour and think about what to write. And then I have some ideas. Then I go to the desk and start writing immediately. And sometimes I stuck in writing during the writing. Then I go out again. So that's my way of writing. But certain people might prefer doing exercise. Doing exercise, you get some ideas. And some people have, go to the sauna. And, everybody has different hobbies they enjoy. And then they can get some ideas. And then they go to the desk. I think that this is very important.
This is great. I always tell my students actually, and I see some of them here, thank you for being here. I always tell them that even if you don't have an idea, go to your desk at that designated time and try to just sit there anyway. But you know what? Maybe that's not great advice for your bottoms. So, but I do have a more sort of specific question in relation to what we were just talking about in terms of inspiration and creation. So the sense I get is that your writing in your work is that you're extremely invested in your characters. Okay, so as a writer and educator of storytelling, I really feel like there's something new to be learned from every writer's sort of specific individualized process of character creation and character development. So I just, for example, there's this, I don't know if you've heard of him, the Dominican American writer Junot Diaz. Yes, so exactly. So he has this sort of signature move of using the same foundational character, and the name is Junior, to tell different stories. So I'd like you to talk about, sort of your character creation process, and if you have a certain pattern or a certain take or anything that goes into the sort of wonderful and complicated characters that you come up with.
예, 무슨 말인지 알겠습니다. 일단 굉장히 그 좋은 질문을.
That's a very good question.
And 그리고 also very difficult question. yeah, difficult question is a good question. Yeah. 저는 대개 우리 작가들이 플롯이 우선이냐, 캐릭터가 우선이냐라고 많이 논쟁을 하곤 합니다.
A lot of writer friends and myself, we have a debate about what comes first, plots or characters.
And to me, always 저는 character and character and character.
Yeah, you said it.
Yeah, to me, and always the more important thing is character. Only character. 왜냐하면요, 캐릭터가 재미있는 사람이랑 있으면 하루 종일 있어도 계획 따위는 필요 없어요.
Because my life taught me that if I have a friend who has a character that I like, then a whole day I spend with him is not boring at all.
그런데 아무리 그 계획이 충실한 데이트를 짜도 그 같이 하는 데이트 상대의 캐릭터가 별로라면 재미있을까요?
But if you go on a date with somebody and we planned a lot, both of us maybe planned a lot of things, but you go out and then that character that day is not very interesting, will that whole day interesting?
그래서 저는 캐릭터라이징이 그 스토리텔링의 핵심이라고 생각하고 정말 힘든 일이라고 생각합니다.
So therefore I can say that the characterizing, finding a character is the core of the storytelling. And it is very difficult process to find the characters.
So maybe you could talk a little bit about Dokko. Am I pronouncing it right? Dokko in the Uncanny Convenience Store. Because just from what I can't wait to read it when it comes out in English, but from what I've already read about the characters, I'm intrigued.
예, 그래서 제 작품 중에 이제 지금 말씀하신 불편한 편의점의 독고 같은 경우는 실제 있는 캐릭터를 가져오진 않았어요.
Dokko is the character in this book, Second Chance Convenience Store. It's not the real person that I borrowed from the real person.
제가 데뷔할 때는 데뷔작 망원동 브라더스는 제 주변의 인물들이나 저에게서 많이 영감을 받은 캐릭터가 나옵니다.
My debut book, which is called Mangwon-dong Brothers, my debut novel was called Mangwon-dong Brothers. There are many characters appearing in that book. They are mostly from I quote those characters, the size. There are many characters that I borrowed from the people around me and from myself as well.
그러나 이제 그 다음부터는 되게 데뷔작에는 그렇게 이제 캐릭터 만들기 힘들 때문에 주변이나 자기자전적인 얘기를 많이 하는데 그 다음 소설부터는 이제 저는 캐릭터를 그대로 쓰면 안 된다고 생각해서 새로운 캐릭터를 만들려고 노력했고 그 이후로 계속 그렇게 해오고 있습니다.
initially when you write a book, it's easy to find the characters around you. Actually, you can have inspiration from people around you and those people who you read about. But you cannot continue that for the second novel, third novel. So from the second novel, I really decided to find new character, and Dokko was born from this process.
독고 같은 경우는 불편한 편의점에 우리 편의점을 이 불편하게 만들려면 어떤 캐릭터가 필요할까 수많은 고민을 한 끝에 노숙자 출신이 알바를 하게 된다면 참 불편할 것 같다는 생각을 해서 이런 노숙자 캐릭터를 만들게 되었습니다.
So Dokko, I found this character after this suffering time of how do I make a convenience store inconvenient. So then I thought about it a lot, and then I found maybe there's an idea about how about homeless person working part-time in this convenience store. That will be very inconvenient.
예를 들자면 처음에부터 노숙자 캐릭터가 나온 건 아니고요. 처음에는 누가 야간 알바를 하면 좋을까 하다가 뭐 베트남 유학생도 생각했고 조선족 아주머니도 생각했고 조직폭력배도 생각했고 외계인까지 생각했습니다.
So actually, in the beginning, the convenience store, it was not suddenly the homeless person I thought immediately, but I was thinking about many candidates, like for example, Vietnamese student who is overseas students studying in Korea but wanting to work part time, or maybe there's a North Korean defector, or Joseonjok is the Chinese Koreans who are working in Korea. And also probably maybe somebody who is from the triad, maybe ex-triad, or somebody is involved in violent word, or even an alien, I thought. But then, I found the homeless person.
그래서 그렇게 이제 캐릭터를 만들 때 자기 작품에 이 캐릭터가 어떻게 기능할지를 미리 시뮬레이션을 하는 연습들을 수없이 해봅니다. 대입을 해보는 거죠. 그러다가 한 4개월 정도 고민 끝에 노숙자 캐릭터가 나온 것입니다.
So with all those characters, I made a simulation. What if this person? How will this person function in this storyline? And I was doing it so many times, and it took like 4 months of suffering time to decide on one character, which was Dokko.
So when you do these simulations, so to speak, what does that mean? Do you sort of place the characters in different scenarios? Do you play with the plot? How do you do that? You call it suffering time. I find that very appropriate and interesting. But what exactly does that mean when you say suffering time or simulation? Like, what do you do with those characters? Do you actually write out those scenarios, or do you just sort of play with them in your head?
Only in my head.
Okay. Okay.
Because 그러니까 이제 이거를 미리 쓰면은 계속 고쳐야 되잖아요. 그러니까 이 머릿속에서 미리 써보는 거죠. 머릿속에서 많이 써보고 어느 정도 나오면은 이제 이 줄거리를 쓰는 거죠. 물론 그러고도 수많은 리라이트이 또 이어지긴 합니다.
I simulate in my head. It's because if you start writing, it takes time. And then after you write the writings, and you have to amend it so many times. That's a very prolonged, unnecessary time-consuming process. So I do a lot of writing in my head first, and I have this idea about the stream of the story. And then, of course, you write down in the physical writing, but you still have to read and rewrite. There is a process of rewriting even after you write down.
That's true. And I also thought, before I move on to the next question, I also thought it was really interesting what you said about, sort of a play of words and how to make the convenience store inconvenient, and how an entire sort of series or book and then now a TV series can be born out of this, and how complex characters can be born just out of a play on words, a pun on words, so to speak. As a writer, I find that very interesting. But I'd like also to know a little bit more about this process of that you've gone through quite seamlessly and effortlessly, it seems, from being a screenwriter to a novelist, because it's not uncommon, I guess, but it's also not common altogether to sort of do that, sort of back and forth. So was it pretty much an organic, natural transition for you, or was it, difficult to sort of switch to novel writing? And I think that's what you mainly do now, if I understand. So if you could give us some insights on that.
야, 제가 당연히 그 시나리오 작가이자 소설가로 살아온 게 그렇게 쉽게 바뀌는 쉽게 이렇게 막 되는 일은 아니라고 좀 저도 그렇게 생각한다고. 예.
I agree with you in that the scenario, writing scenario, and suddenly you start writing novel. That's not a very natural transition.
저 같은 경우는 다행히도 시나리오 작가로 활동하던 도중에 일이 잘 안 돼서 한 4년 정도 소설 편집자 생활을 했습니다.
편집자. 네. For me, in a way, luckily, that I was a scenario screenwriter, and I was doing it for decades, for a long time. But then that didn't bring me enough money, so I had to do other jobs. And one of the other part-time jobs was working in the publishing company, editing the writings.
노벨 소설 편집자.
Oh, the Nobel Prize winning books.
노벨 그러니까 소설 편집자.
Novel.
소설 편집자로.
Editing the novels, other people's novels. So I was editing and making it, refining other people's novels. So that was my part-time job as a scenario writer.
예, 제가 소설가로 이렇게 피보팅할 수 있었던 것은 제가 소설 편집자 생활을 또 했기 때문에 가능했던 게 아닌가 생각합니다.
So for me, it was possible for me to convert into the world of novel writing. It was possible because I was starting to read a lot of novels in my part-time job.
제가 그래서 시나리오 작가로 지내다가 소설 편집자 생활을 하고 그리고 다시 이제 시나리오를 쓰다가 소설가가 됐는데 그것이 저는 굉장히 자연스러운 과정이었어요.
So it was a natural flow in a way, luckily for me, because I was still writing a scenario, but I was doing the editing job for novels of other people, and then I started to write my own novel. So it was kind of natural flow for me.
왜냐하면 저는 장편 소설을 쓰고 그리고 영화 시나리오 같은 경우는 2시간 동안 내 영화 시나리오의 분량과 한 250페이지 정도의 장편 소설의 분량이 저는 굉장히 비슷하다고 생각합니다. 호흡이.
Because in a way it is similar, writing 2-hour worth of movies, the scenarios for 2-hour length movie, and 250 pages of novel writing is kind of similar pages of writing involved. So in a way, in that regard, it's quite similar.
장편 소설과 장편 영화의 스토리텔링은 플라팅이 거의 비슷하다는 거죠. 클라이막스까지 갖다 내려오는 플라팅이 2시간이나 호흡이나 분량 면에서 그래서 그 스토리텔링이 비슷하다는 것을 느꼈기 때문에 제가 자신감을 가질 수 있었던 것 같습니다.
So I built my confidence because I found out that the storytelling flow of plotting, there's a climax and there's a flow of movie making scenarios, and also writing a novel. It has a certain starting and then climax and ending, and the amount of the pages that I have to write is quite similar. So I found myself quite confident in writing a novel.
여기서 주목해야 할 것은 저의 경우에는 굉장히 대중적인 장편 소설을 말합니다. 어떠한 그 심오한 문학적인 소설과는 좀 그 결이 다릅니다. 근데 대중 장편 소설은 대중 장편 상업 영화와 거의 비슷한 플롯과 호흡을 가지고 있다고 저는 확신합니다.
I have to note this for you because I have to emphasize that what I mean about my novel writing is for the public. It's not like the epic novels that is made into. I mean, they're very very difficult to write, but for the commercial movies that I was writing about the scenarios for those movies and the novels that I write have similar kind of flow, similar atmosphere. That's why I had confidence. I have to point it out to you because novel writing, the full-length novel I am writing, is for everybody's daily lives and it's for public life. So it's for movie making, scenario making, and novels I write. The contents are in a way, in that regard, similar. That's why I found it easier.
That's interesting because that was sort of going to be my next question, which is that since you already sort of came into novel writing from a screenwriting background, I presume your novels are sort of cinematic, so to speak. But when you write them, as you write the text, and I assume you already do this in screenwriting, but as you write your text as a novelist, do you already sort of envision we all envision our images as we write, but do you already envision them on screen when you write them?
Yeah, it's a good question. 저 같은 경우는 소설가가 되고 나서 가끔 그런 오해도 많이 받았습니다. 너 이거 영화로 만들기 전에 소설로 미리 쓴 거지?
So I get this kind of a misunderstanding from many people. Ask me actually. So you think when you write a novel, you think about making it into movie, right? But it's not the case.
그러니까 저도 그럴 줄 알았는데 그렇지가 않더라고요.
I thought about it. Maybe that's the case. But then I thought, no, that's not the case.
왜냐하면은 여러분 이게 처음에는 그런 것이 비슷하지만 소설은 소설만의 문체가 있습니다.
Because even if the climax and the plotting is similar, the scenarios and the novels, but the novel itself has a very unique character in it.
그리고 이제 스타일.
It's its own unique style. Novels has its own unique style.
But 시나리오는 영화의 설계도입니다.
But the scenario is kind of a draft for a movie.
그리고 소설은 철저하게 혼자 씁니다.
And the novel, I'm talking about the difference. So novel is a one-man job. I write it lonely, lonesome writing.
물론 편집자가 저 피드백을 해주긴 하지만.
Of course, there are like publishers who will edit it, but it's a very lonely job. I write alone.
But 시나리오 작가는 절대 혼자 일할 수도 없고 혼자 일해서도 안 됩니다. 시나리오 작가는 감독과 프로듀서와 함께 작품을 개발합니다.
But scenario writer, the screenwriter cannot work on their own. They have to communicate endlessly with the director, movie director, and 감독하고 누구라고? Producer, movie producer, and movie directors. You have to always communicate with them.
어떨 때는 동료 작가와 함께 공동 작업도 합니다.
Sometimes I'm not the only screenwriter. There are many screenwriters involved in one movie.
그렇기 때문에 글 쓰는 방식도 다르고 이렇게 그리고 이제 이 작업의 그 형식도 다릅니다. 그래서 소설을 쓰는 일은 영화를 쓰기 위한 것과는 굉장히 다른 종류의 노동이 필요하기 때문에 영화를 쓰기 위해 소설을 쓸 수는 없습니다.
Therefore, I can conclude, I can confidently say that the writing style is different between novel and scenario, and the format's different for scenario and novel writing. So they are quite different areas in that regard. So novel writing is more like a labor concept that I have. Whenever I write a novel, it's a labor. It's a hard work.
So, just last question on this sort of shift between the two genres, if you will. How do you think the storytelling aspect? I mean, the structure is different, the labor is different. We understand and appreciate. So, how does the storytelling aspect itself change for you, at least from your perspective, between screenwriting and novel writing?
그러니까 스토리텔링을 하는 면에서는 같은데, 그러니까 스토리텔링을 할 적에 영화를 만든 시나리오를 쓰는 거랑 책을 만들기 위해서 글을 쓰는 거랑 어떤 식으로 스토리텔링이 다른가요?
이게 굉장히 설명하기가 좀 어렵긴 합니다.
It's very difficult to explain.
그냥 단순하게 말씀드리자면,
But simply saying,
제가 시나리오로 쓰고 싶은 오리지널이 있다면 그것은 예산이 많이 들어가는 작품일 겁니다.
I can say simply put, if I have some idea about scenario writing that will eventually be made into a movie, that will require a lot of finance.
그러니까 돈이 많이 들어가는 작품은 소설로 쓰기가 돈이 많이 들어가는 작품은 영화로 만들어질 염두를 두고, 그러니까 그러니까 사이즈를 생각할 때 이제 그 영화로 접근을 하고.
So if you have enough finance and you write about you think about the movie in the beginning of your scenario writing, then you think about this enormous amount of finance that will be put into making a movie.
좀 더 내밀한 이야기를 하고 싶을 때 소설로서의 스토리텔링을 선택합니다.
But if you want to talk more intimate stories, more like details, and you want to talk about more descriptive, intimate stories, then I think about novel, not a movie.
그리고 그런 좀 더 디테일한 그 스토리텔링의 차이는 제가 한 3박 4일 강연을 해야 될 것 같아서 여기서 더 하기는 어려울 것 같습니다.
Yeah. For that area, to talk about the storytelling difference between the scenario and writing is a lot of things to talk about. So it will take me maybe 3 nights, 4 days, a full day session. So I can't do it in such a short time today.
Sorry.
That's fine. So I also picked up from some of the articles that came out about your novel, Uncanny Convenience Store, that it has been referred to as, translated in English as healing or comfort novels. Could you give us some sort of context for that, and what is that? I mean, we understand, of course, what healing and comfort means, but why is this particular novel referred to as that?
제가 힐링과 어떤 그 안정감을 주기 위해서 이 소설을 기획한 것은 아니었습니다.
Actually, I did not write when I wrote the book. I did not think about giving. I'm going to give healing and comfort to my reader. I didn't think of that at all.
아마 제가 생각하기에 이 작품을 쓰던 시기가 제 자신이 굉장히 개인적으로나 커리어적으로 힘든 시절이어서 제 자신을 위로하려고 이걸 썼던 것 같습니다.
I think when I was writing this specific book, Uncanny Convenience Story, it's in the store, or in English it's like a second chance convenience store. Yeah, same book. When I was writing this book, personally and career-wise, I was in a deep down, like I was not in a low spirit, and I kind of wrote it to console myself. Like, you know, by writing this, I'm talking to me. It's okay, consoling myself. Maybe that's appeal to many public.
그러니까 저 자신을 좀 위로하려고 이 작품을 쓰지 않았나 했는데 그 마음이 독자들에게 전달돼서 독자들도 많은 위로를 받은 것 같다고 저는 생각합니다.
And during that time was 2021 was COVID already, and many people were suffering financially and losing jobs. So because I was also suffering financially and I was in difficulties, so I was trying to console myself. And people read my book and they had the same consolation. I think that's why the response was such a great big hit.
Yeah, I completely can see that because I do think, and I really believe that, we pass on the messages that we want to pass on when we are sort of not trying to pass them on, if that makes sense. So you wrote from the place where you were at, and that's what sort of translated and reached out, rather than trying to write something that was going to heal people during COVID and forward. I also read that some readers in Taiwan, another place where your work has done really well, have made a transcription of some of the phrases that they found to be particularly beautiful in this novel, The Uncanny Convenience Store. If you remember some of them, or if you don't remember what your Taiwanese readers picked out, would you sort of pick out a few phrases for us or passages that you may want to read out in Korean, and then we can have them sort of translated so we can share?
그 편집에 나오는 그 이야기를 문구 중에서 이렇게 본인이 대만 대중들은 몇 개 자기네 좋아하는 거 골랐는데
그쵸.
본인이
제가 있어요. 근데 그게 되게 비슷해요. 그 제가 저도 이제 쓰고 나서, 그리고 이제 쓰고 나서는 미처 그러니까 제가 이제 생각한 것과 독자들이 반응한 것이 굉장히 비슷했습니다.
So actually, what the Taiwanese public picked up, the readers, was actually what I would pick as well. So I thought people respond just like I respond. It's very similar characters, similar to me, writer. The readers actually those readers like my book.
그러니까 한국 독자들과 타이완 독자들과 차이나 독자들과 그리고 일본 독자들은, 그리고 태국 독자들 거의 비슷했어요. 아시안에서의 반응은.
So the response in Korea, Taiwan, China, mainland China, Japan, Thailand, the readers' response was quite similar in that regard.
근데 이제 유로피안이랑 영미권은 어떨지 좀 궁금하긴 합니다.
So I'm very curious to find the response, how it will be like in Europe or the America or So yeah, they may be different.
제일 많이 공감한 그 문구는 결국 삶은 관계였고 관계는 소통이었다. 이 문구를 가장들 많이 공감해 주셨습니다.
Many people picked this phrase which I also agree that I would pick is the phrase that goes like in the end life is the relationship, human relationship, and the human relationship is communication.
Any other sort of passages that you may want to, I just want to give you the opportunity that you may want to read from some of your other work. Any lines, passages, phrases that you might want to share or read out?
다른 책에서 뭐 이렇게 책 가져다가 읽으셔도 되고.
예. 우리나라 책 있나요? 제가 한국 책을 안 가져서.
I didn't bring my Korean books.
Okay. I do want to ask about your newest novel, My Don Quixote. Is that you're still working on that, or that's already out? Already out. Okay. All right. Great. I wasn't sure it said your newest novel. So I know that it's Don Quixote is named after. I haven't read it, but it's a Spanish epic novel from the 1600s. And from what I know about the novel, without having read it, is that it's about, in a nutshell, it's about a man and his squire sort of trying to do heroic deeds, acting like superheroes because they want to prove that chivalry is not dead. So is your novel sort of a takeoff on that? Why this name? What? Yeah.
I published it in April. April and
April this year.
어떻게 썼는지 물어보는 거죠.
그러니까 돈키호테가 기사도에 관한 어떤 사람이 엉뚱하게 자기가 기사라고 하면서 하는 그런 내용을 자기는 안 읽어봤지만
예.
그렇게 알고 있는데 왜 엉뚱하게 이런 책 제목을
2019년에 제가 스페인 마드리드 레지던스에 3개월 있었습니다. 예.
I visited in Spain in 2019. I stayed there in Madrid for 3 months.
레지던스에 예.
그러니까 마드리드에서요. Yeah, Madrid residence. It's called Madrid residence for 3 months. I stayed there.
제가 거기 가게 된 거는 제가 돈키호테를 너무 좋아하는데 돈키호테에 대해 쓰고 싶다고 스페인 쪽에 제안해서 그게 통해 가지고 가서 이제 하게 된 것입니다.
So I personally like Don Quixote a lot. So I somehow got to talk to the Spanish agency, and I want to write about Don Quixote, something to do with Don Quixote. And then they invited me, and I stayed there for 3 months.
그래서 스페인에 있으면서 돈키호테에 관한 한국의 돈키호테에 대한 캐릭터를 생각해냈고 거기에 대한 소설을 오래 준비했습니다.
So I started to think about what if in Korean context, what is the Don Quixote for Koreans? I thought about it, and then I started to write at that moment.
그래서 이제 오랜 시간이 걸려서 이제 이번에 출간하게 됐는데요. 결국 돈키호테는 이제 불가능한 꿈에 대한 이야기죠. Impossible Dream, Impossible Dream에 대한 꿈이고, 저 자신도 그런 꿈을 가지고 살아왔다고 생각합니다.
So it was a very long period of preparation to write this book. From like concept, writing, and publishing this year. So it took about 5 years. And Don Quixote, the original book, is also about impossible dreams, the dream that you pursue, but you know that's impossible to achieve. So I myself has such dreams that maybe unachievable, but I have those dreams. So I feel like Don Quixote appeals to many people.
제가 어릴 적에는 이런 돈키호테 같은 캐릭터들을 사람들이 익숙했고요. 그리고 사람들이 꿈에 대해 이야기하는 거에 그렇게 낯설지 않았습니다. 그러나 지금은 아무도 꿈에 대해 이야기하지 않습니다. 오직 돈에 대해서만 이야기합니다.
When I was growing up in Korea, in those days, there are a lot of people who were just like Don Quixote. They just talk about the unachievable, impossible dreams. They always talk about those dreams. But nowadays, I hardly find anybody talking about their dreams. People talk about money all the time.
홍콩 어떤가요?
How about in Hong Kong?
Maybe same이야. 그래서 저는 지금은 물론 이제 자본주의 사회고 돈이 모든 것의 주요 가치지만 우리는 사실은 꿈꾸지 않고는 살 수 없는 존재가 인간이라고 생각하기 때문에 그것을 리마인드 시키고 싶어서 이 소설을 쓰게 되지 않았나 합니다.
Of course, we all know we live in a capitalist society, and we know about the value of money. But people don't live only by money. People need to dream. Without dream, humans cannot survive. I realized that, and I wanted to share my realization with other people that humans don't live only by money, but you have to have a dream.
Thank you. I hope that book too will be translated in English. I'd love to read that.
That book already
Also.
the 영어는 아직 아니고요. 그 타이완 타이완에서는 한자로는 이미 근데 여기 홍콩 독자들에게는 이 불편한 편의점 출판사에서 또 계약을 했다고. 이미.
Actually, it's like a Taiwanese version is now being sold in Hong Kong, as far as I know. But Hong Kong book agency, actually, we recently signed a contract that there will be Hong Kong version of Uncanny Convenience Store will be published soon.
You can read soon.
Already published outside.
English version is not yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of books, and we are at the Hong Kong Book Fair, so books nowadays, as you know, as we all know, have to compete for readers' attention. And the competition is not just with, film and theater and musicals, but also with sort of the myriad of social media platforms that we are bombarded with each day in our phones. So my question is, as a storyteller who straddles multiple mediums already, what are your thoughts on capturing and sustaining, readers' attention, especially the younger generation of readers who are born into sort of this multimedia kind of lifestyle?
지금 멀티미디어 지금 사람들의 이렇게 책을 쓰고 그런 성공한 그 작가라면 이제 독자들의 사랑을 계속 받고 싶어하는 욕구가 있고
네네.
거기에 대해서 요새는 소셜 미디어나 젊은 층들은 이제 인터넷 쪽을 많이
그렇죠.
가는데 그런 것은 독자층을 계속적으로 보유하려고 하는 어떤 노력을 하신다면 그런 것이 있습니다.
그러니까 이게 되게 중요한 이야기죠. 뭐냐면 저희 이제 작가들끼리도 그런 이야기를 합니다. 우리는 이제 다른 소설과 경쟁하는 것이 아니라 다른 책들과 경쟁하는 게 아니라 우리는 틱톡과 릴스와 경쟁한다고 유튜브와 틱톡과 경쟁한다고 그런 이야기를 합니다.
Yeah, we writer friends, we usually joke about this situation, this phenomenon about like we don't really compete with the books, but we compete with the TikTok followers and YouTube followers.
굉장히 위기감이 많은데요.
There's a lot of a sense of crisis for us. Yes, that's true.
그런데 우리 그래도 책이 그리고 이런 소설이라는 발명품이 지난 100년간은 가장 이야기를 전달하는 훌륭한 도구가 아니었나 생각하고.
But I do still think that the book was started to have the interest of people, and for the last 100 years, that was the best medium for storytelling.
그리고 이제 뭐 저도 유튜브나 뭐 틱톡이나 인스타 많이 보지만 투머치 도파민. 그래서 언젠가는 또 지쳐서 다시 텍스트로 돌아오곤 하고 젊은 독자들도 그러기를 희망합니다.
For me also, I got interested in YouTube and Instagram and TikToks but the contents. But in the end, I find I'm so tired of these things, and I come back to reading books. So hopefully, my readers will feel the same and come and read my books.
그러니까 결국 저의 전략은 따로 있지 않습니다. 더 재밌게 쓸 수 있도록 노력하는 것뿐입니다.
So my strategy, there's nothing special. I just try my best to write a good book.
That's great. I do agree, and I think that really hits home what you said about sort of the amount of information that we are bombarded with actually kind of works against itself after a certain point, and we come back to books as a kind of for me like a mindful sanctuary almost, I also have a great penchant for libraries. I feel like libraries are sort of the, modern day cathedrals, so to speak, And we can't have that with social media apps, no matter, sort of time-consuming they are in our lives, we still sort of need something to get away from, and I think books will always be there for us. So the other question I had regarding your writing is you grew up in Korea, right? So tell us
Seoul, yeah.
Seoul.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about the sort of social, political, as well as the literary culture of Korea and how that sort of specifically translated into some of your works.
사회 정치적으로 어떤 그 당시에 문학계 성장할 당시에 문학계의 어떤 흐름이라든가 그런 것이 본인의 글쓰기에 어떤 영향을 끼친 바가 있습니까?
저는 좀 그 외로운 소년이었던 것 같아요. 그래서 도서관에도 많이 가고 영화관에도 많이 다니면서 청소년기를 보냈고 그리고
I was a lonely boy, so I spent a lot of time in a library. That's how I spent my youth time.
그래서 그런지 이제 그 처음에는 이제 한국 책들을 읽다가 나중에 번역된 외국 작품들도 많이 읽으면서 좀 그래도 책과 친하게 자란 학생이지 않았나 합니다. 예.
So I see myself growing up in Korea. I was very familiar with books because I started to read Korean books first, and then started to read those books written by foreign literature writers. Translated into Korean, of course. So I got very close to book world, in a way.
And what are some of your... Sorry, go ahead.
그러니까 이제 정치 사회는 뭐 제가 사는 것과 항상 그 다 있으니까요. 예, 항상 그것은 제 삶에 반영되고 있죠. 작품에 반영되고 있고, 그 거기 무관심했다는 건 아니고요. 예, 책을 좀 더 좋아했다는 것 정도가 아닐까 합니다.
Actually, in my book, the stories actually reflect the atmosphere, social atmosphere, political context. But that's what I feel. I just. It's everybody's daily lives is all affected by those things, and I write about them.
So tell us a little bit about, as what can we as international readers who are not, reading, who will not be reading your books in Korean, what can we sort of expect to see and understand? And what would you have us understand about Korean culture?
딴 분들은 이제 번안 소설로 이제 한국어를 모르니까 자기네 언어로 번역된 거를 읽으시는데 그러면 원래 오리지널한 그런 느낌이 아닐 수도 있는데 본인이 직접 이렇게 말하고 싶은 국제적인 그 독자에게도 그런 게 있다고 한다면 어떤 게 있을까요?
제 책을 읽어주시는 홍콩 독자 여러분들 그리고 다른 세계의 독자 여러분들에게 제가 드리고 싶은 말씀은 제 책은 어쨌든 좀 결코 어렵지 않습니다. 예, 그 얘기 일단 드리고 싶어요.
First of all, I want to say to my readers around the world, Hong Kong readers as well, including, that my book is not difficult at all.
그래서 이제 읽으시고 어떤 대단한 의미를 찾으실 필요는 없습니다. 단지 작은 공감을 할 수 있다면 그것으로 제가 쓴 이 책을 쓴 의도는 이 이야기를 쓴 의도는 모두 통했다고 생각합니다.
Therefore, I don't expect you to try to find very profound meaning in my books. But if you can agree with some scenes and you find yourself I feel the same, sympathetic about certain scenes, then I think my book did its job.
그리고 이 책이 한국에서 잘 된 이유라면은 청소년들도 많이 읽고 어른들도 많이 읽고 다양한 연령대가 이 책을 읽었습니다.
And the thing about the big hit of this book is can be proven by the readers actually range from the young teenagers up to the elderly people, they all love my book, this book.
그래서 여러분 가족 중에 혹시 아직 제 책을 읽지 않은 분이 있다면 예, 가족들에게도 나눠서 같이 읽으시고 예, 가족들끼리 독서 토론도 하시고 책을 안 읽는 친구도 이 소설을 입문하기 아주 좋은 책이니까 책을 평소에 안 읽는 친구들에게도 쉽게 권할 수 있는 책이지 않을까 생각합니다. 예, 그리고 실제 한국에서 그렇던 얘기를 많이 들었습니다.
So I want to tell you that what people often tell me because it ranges from it covers all the generations. So you can actually recommend my book to your grandma, if grandmas can to young children. It's very easily written book, so it reads easily. So you can have a book talk among your family members and your like friend groups. 그리고 두 번째 하신 말씀이 뭐였죠?
이 친구들에게도 예, 빌려 책에 익숙하지 않은 친구들에게도 예, 이 책으로 이제 입문하게 도와줄 수 있다. 독서를.
And there are many children or friends who never really read a book because it's a different generation. They're not book reading generation, but you can introduce my book to them, and then they will start finding the books interesting.
그리고 사실은 빌려주는 것보다 사서 선물해주면 더 좋습니다.
But don't just rent your book to your friend. Just buy one book and give it to him, friend. As
Good for your friends, good for you, good for me.
Yes, I completely agree. And I'm definitely going to make my children read your books because I have that problem with them. They don't always want to read. So we have to open it up to questions now, I believe. So I will just go ahead and do that. But before we do that, I just want to thank you for being here. It is such an honor to sit here
It's
with
my
you.
honor too.
And is there anything else that you'd like to say to our audience here before I open it up to questions?
Q&A 시작하기 전에
네.
뭐 마지막으로 공개적으로 하실 말씀 있으신가요?
그 독자 여러분, 오히려 저는 여기 오시는 홍콩 독자 여러분들이 어떻게 저를 알고 여기까지 오셨나가 더 궁금할 따름입니다.
I'm just curious about you guys because I don't know how you heard about me, and the Hong Kong readers know me. It's amazing. I'm just curious to know you.
그리고 어쨌든 제 책을 읽어보신 분도 있고 안 읽어보신 분도 있을 텐데 다시 말씀드리면 어렵지 않습니다. 예, 꼭 많이 읽어주시고 예, 그리고 공감해 주신다면 더 이상 바랄 게 없겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Yeah, so I think you know Korean. Some people may have read my book already. Some people may not. But please read a book. Read one of my books. It's very easy read. And when you read the book and you sympathize with the content, the story, then I'll be very happy. Thank you. Q&A?
Yes, so please feel free to ask questions to Mr. Kim here.
Hello, I read both of the Second Chance convenience store, both book 1 and book 2. And first of all, I love Dokgu very much. Dokgu. And after he took a bath, of course. Because before he took a bath, so stinky. And I just want to ask, do you watch a lot of Hong Kong movie? Because you mentioned about Leslie Cheung and Chow Yun-fat, and you use Hong Gam-bo as the names of the character. So what is it related to Hong Kong movie? Yeah.
그러니까 왜 홍콩 그러니까 영화에 나오는 캐릭터들이 그 책에 나오는
네,
거고
네, 네,
그래서
네.
되게 놀랐는데
네.
홍콩 영화와의 관계?
그러니까 제가 티네이저 때 예, 일단 제 책을 좋아해 주시고 독고를 좋아해 주셔서 감사합니다.
First of all, thank you very much for loving my character Dokgo and my book.
그 제가 티네이저 때 예, 그
When I was a teenager,
홍콩 영화가 세계적으로도 인기가 있었고
the Hong Kong movies were in fashion around the world, including Korea.
특별히 한국 그 청소년들에게 남자 청소년들에게 엄청난 인기가 있었습니다.
Especially, it had a great impact on Korean male young teenagers.
물론 이제 여자분들도 좋아했지만,
Of course, there are female spectators who loved Hong Kong movies, of course.
우리는 그때 이 홍콩 영화가 저희들의 세계였어요.
But for us boys, teenage boys, the Hong Kong movie was our world.
예를 들면 주윤발의 이쑤시개,
Choi Yun-fat's toothpicks.
이쑤시개. 예, 그리고 뭐 장국영, 그리고
Leslie Cheung.
유덕화, 장하구, 그리고 성룡엔 홍금보,
Singlong and
그리고 주성치까지,
주성치.
예.
I don't know how to pronounce.
아무튼 너무 많은
So many
Hong Kong movie stars and our role model.
Yeah, they were like kind of our Korean teenagers growing up. They were our role models, our heroes.
그래서 그 불편한 편의점 2에 나오는 이 스스로를 홍금보라고 하는 캐릭터는 스스로를 홍금보라고 하는 캐릭터는 그 나이 때 이제 그런 그 중국 배우들을 홍콩 배우들을 좋아했던 그 나이가 그 나이라서 그렇게 된 거죠.
The second book, Convenience Store, the main character is called Hong Geun-bo, and he is that character who grew up in Korean society as a teenager, watching all those Hong Kong movies.
그리고 너무 억울한 게 그 남자 배우만 언급했는데 사실 장만옥이랑
But I mentioned so many stars, male stars, but Maggie Cheung, Jang Man-ok,
그리고 임청아,
the
정초홍,
female stars also I loved a lot.
다 너무 좋아했고요. 그리고 그 당시에 그런 홍콩 영화만의 그 앰모소퍼와 그리고 스타일을 한국 관객들이 너무 다 사랑했고 한국만 그런 게 세계적으로 인기 끌었고 그랬다고 생각합니다.
I strongly believe that not only Korean people, but all the people around the world in those days loved Hong Kong movies. The Hong Kong movies has its specific atmosphere, their own styles, and we all loved it.
제가 어제 몽콕 거리에 갔는데 제가 홍콩에 오면 제일 먼저 가보고 싶었던 곳이 그 몽콕 거리입니다.
I went to Mongkok yesterday because that's one of the very places I wanted to go when I arrived to Hong Kong for the first time. So I went to Mongkok yesterday and took a lot of pictures.
I'll show you. I'm in Mongkok. Mongkok station, subway station. So looks nice. 왜냐하면 제가 몽콕 그 홍콩 영화에서 몽콕 거리를 너무 많이 봤고.
Because in those Hong Kong movies, there was the streets of Mongkok, Mongkok streets everywhere.
그리고 제가 제일 사랑하는 홍콩 영화가 왕가희 감독의 데뷔작인 몽콕의 달 아래라는 영화입니다.
몽콕이 뭐예요?
달 아래.
달 아래. Under the Moon of Mongkok, there was a movie called like that. That was my favorite movie, Hong Kong movie. Maybe it's translated.
왕가희 감독의 데뷔.
Mangawi, the director's debut movie.
One of my best film. That's why I go to Mongkok. Visit Mongkok. And 답이 되는지 모르겠습니다.
Does it answer your question?
Thank you. 세세. Any question is okay, or you can say the feeling or something. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Suchitana, and I wanted to ask you that, of course, there is like a worldwide popularity of everything that's related to Korea now, like K-drama, K-pop, K-beauty. How much do you think that has helped in growing the popularity of Korean literature and Korean books around the world? Because I know that you, as Maria mentioned, that your books have been popular in Brazil, Spain, and elsewhere around the world as well. So how do you think that has helped in the popularity of Korean literature?
It's okay. Okay. I understand exactly. Yeah. 그거는요. 진짜 제가 그 한류 덕을 보고 있다고 전해 주십시오.
Actually, thanks to that worldwide popularity of K-dramas and K-food and K-beauty, actually that's why my book got the attention. So I'm very thankful to those worldly phenomenon.
예를 들어서 제가 올 2월에 스페인에서 책이 출간돼서 갔는데
So I went to Spain in February this year because my book was translated into Spanish and published there.
제 책이 출간돼서 갔기 때문에 아직 스페인 독자들이 많이 읽지 않았을 거라 생각했습니다.
So I thought it was just published, so maybe there are not many Spanish readers who already read my book in Spanish.
하지만 마드리드의 북스토어에서 북토크를 하는데 150명의 스페인 분들이 왔습니다.
But I was so surprised to find 150 people in the audience. We were doing the book talk in one of the bookshops in Madrid, and 150 people were there.
거의 다 제 책을 읽지 않았어요. 그런데 읽기 위해 책을 사서 온 겁니다.
But most of them actually didn't read my book, but they wanted to read it, and then they wanted to see the writer. So that's why they all had my book in hand, and then sitting there.
그 사람들은 한국 문학과 저의 최초 팬은 아니었을 것입니다.
Probably they are not the first fans of 그 사람이 한국 분.
그들이 한국 책과 한국 문학에 대한 저의 팬은 아닐 거라고.
본인이 첫 번째 팬이 아니요.
그러니까 그 스페인 분들이 저의 소설이나 저에 대한 팬은 아니었을 것입니다.
Probably they are not particularly familiar with me as a writer, Korean writer. Probably they were just interested in Korean culture and Korean literature. They don't particularly know me well.
예, 진짜로 그분들은 한국 드라마와 한국 K-팝과 한국 패션과 한국 뷰티에 관심, 한국 음식에 관심이 많은 한국 매니아들이었습니다.
Yeah, they were indeed Korea manias. They were interested in Korea drama, Korean K-drama, K-beauty, K-food, fashion, K-food even. So they were like Korea manias.
그래서 저에게도 기회가 왔던 것 같습니다.
So that's why I got the chance that my book was translated into Spanish.
So if I may add to that question, part two, what in your opinion is contributing to this Korea mania at this time, if anything?
그러니까 본인도 이제 어떻게 보면 K 그 문화에 기여하고 있다고 생각하지 않나요?
sure. 예, 기여하고 있고 기여할 겁니다.
Yeah, I actually agree that I am. Thanks to this K culture in fashion, my book is getting the attention, and also I'd like to contribute to this K culture to continue by writing a good book.
대답이 됐으면 좋겠습니다.
Does it answer your question?
Thank you. 예, 저 아까 예. 잠깐.
Thank you so much for such an inspirational talk. And I was very curious when you mentioned that, of course, you're a screenwriter before, and you mentioned that you prefer to write about more intimate stories, like emotional stories, in terms when you write a novel. But when you have an epic idea, when you have big budgeted epic idea, you go for screenwriting. And I heard from many writers they're the opposite. When they have big epic ideas that might need a lot of budget when it comes to movie making, they try to write it because filmmakers, they don't like big budgeted films because it's losing money for them in the beginning. But for you, it's the opposite. So I'm very curious how you had this way.
아까 스크린라이팅은
네네.
그러니까 어떤 예산이 많이 들고 그래서
네네.
그럴 경우에는 스크린라이팅을
그렇죠. 예, 그랬는데 예.
두 개의 그 결정하면서 스크린라이팅을 계속 하시는.
예, 아니, 알아 무슨 말인지 알겠어요. 예, 그것은요, 그 동안의 저의 이 과정이었어요. 뭐냐면 버젯이 많이 들어가고 그리고 버젯이 많이 들어가고 좀 더 파퓰러한 것들은 영화로 기획을 하고 스토리텔링을 그리고 좀 더 내밀하고 좀 더 개인적인 일들은 소설로 썼어요. 왜냐하면 저에게는 초이스가 없었어요. 예, 굉장히 예, 생계형이었기 때문에 예, 그것이 그 당시에는 가장 저에게는 효과적인 예, 생존의 라이팅이었습니다.
Actually, that was the very important element in my life in those days because I was financially not very well. I was a bit poor, and for me to survive, I had to decide this one needs a lot of budget, maybe bigger budget, and it may be popular. So I write it as into a scenario for a movie, and for more like a familiar, for intimate and personal descriptions, I tried to write in a novel. And that was my survival mode to differentiate these two genres and write in both sectors in that period.
이제는 제가 글을 쓸 수 있는 시간을 살 수 있는 예, 여유가 있습니다.
But now, of course, I have financially more eased off, more relaxed, and I have more time to think about writing what I choose what to write, and I have more time now.
그렇다면 이제는 시나리오를 영화의 대본을 오히려 더 내밀한 걸 쓸 수도 있고 그리고 소설을 마치 왕자의 게임 원작 같은 소설을 쓸 수도 있는 것입니다. 왜냐하면 저에게는 이제 그런 것을 할 수 있는 펀더멘탈이 생겼기 때문입니다.
Yeah. So I have enough relaxed finance and time, so I can do it like in reverse way. Because I could write a scenario for a movie with my intimate stories, personal stories that may require a big budget, but I can still write it to be made into a movie. But on the other hand, I can write an epic movie-like story into my book. So I can have this relaxed point of view now. I can do both ways.
대답이 됐으면 좋겠습니다.
Does it answer your question?
예.
So now you're such a huge like star writer, not only in Korea, I think apparently in Asia and on the world. And I don't know, I can imagine that there's a lot of expectation and pressure that, okay, what's next for Kim Ho-yeon, and then what is going to write about. So how do you handle the pressure, and how do you continue to find inspirations? Yeah.
그 압박을 어떻게 견디냐는 얘기죠.
사람들이 기대하고 다음 작품 어떤 거 쓸 거야, 뭐
예, 네.
압력이나 그런 걸 느끼실 텐데 어떤 식으로?
I ran away. Yeah, from Hong Kong to Hong Kong to Spain. Yeah, I ran away. Yeah, and 피하는 수밖에 없습니다. 도망가는 수밖에 없습니다. 그러니까 압박을 많이 받습니다. 작가로서 상상할 수 없는 큰 영광을 얻었지만 프레셔는 존재합니다. 그래서 저는 주로 숨습니다. 예, 숨습니다. 그 사람을 만나지 않고 예 그리고 혼자 작업할 공간을 찾아서 그곳에서 작업을 하고 그리고 이렇게 외국에 나가서 이제 다 외국 독자들을 만난다는 핑계로 한국의 그 만남을 피하거나 그렇게 합니다. 그러니까 결국은 사실 저는 연예인이 아니잖아요. 그냥 조금 작품으로 인해서 그 유명세를 탄 작가일 뿐이지만 저 자신을 지키기 위해서는 어느 정도 고립이 필요하다. 어느 정도 아니라 좀 더 강력한 고립이 필요하다고 생각했고 그런 고립감을 가지는 것은 사실 작가의 본질이기 때문에 그리 어려운 일은 아닙니다. 예, 저 자신이 이제 그 험불해지기만 하면 되는 것이죠. 예. 그 압박을 받고 예 열심히 피하고 있습니다.
When I get the pressure, I run away. So, of course, it's a glorious thing that I get the attention of the readers and the critics. But I'm not an entertainer. I'm not like a movie star. I'm just a writer. And if I feel the pressure, I hide away. Because writing is a lonely job. I do it on my own. Just one person writing. It's a lonely job. And it is the essence of writing. So you have to have a very lonely feeling. You have to have that as a writer. It's a lonesome job, and that's why it's not difficult for me to be lonely. I was a lonely boy, and I'm used to it. And I go and hide away. I don't meet people. Whenever I feel the pressure, I just hide away. I become to be myself, and I try to find time and place that I can be alone. And then I think about the next job without any pressure.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you think there's a formula for fame?
아,
어떤 인기를 얻는데 어떤 포뮬러가 있을까요?
I have no idea. Yeah, actually, I have no idea. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Because 제 책이 나올 때 이 불편한 편의점은 출판사랑 계약을 못한 책이에요.
Actually, I never expected my book to be such a hit. When the convenience store story was published, there was no publishing company who was willing to publish it. There was no contract.
그러니까 컨트랙트 없이 쓴 작품입니다.
I mean, I wrote the book without any contract.
왜냐하면 제 작품들이 계속 잘 안 돼서 책을 내줄 출판사가 없던 상황이었어요.
Because until then, I wrote several books, but they were not successful, and there were no publishing company who were willing to sign a contract.
그리고 어쨌든 파이널리 계약을 했지만 그 출판사도 직원이 5명 있는 크지 않은 출판사였습니다.
But in the end, there was a publishing company who was willing to publish my book, but there was a very small size company which had only 5 employees.
그러니까 무명의 작가와 무명의 출판사가 이런 빅히트작을 낸 것입니다. 그 이유를 저희도 아직 잘 알지 못합니다.
So that was the unknown publishing company, small size company, an unknown writer, and we got together, and then we published this book, and it got a big hit. And we don't know the reason. We still try to find out what was the reason.
그러니까 제가 그러면 유명세의 공식을 어떻게 알겠습니까?
So that's why I don't know the formula for fame at all.
그러나
But
굳이 대답을 드리자면 이 책이 잘 된 것은 수많은 독자들의 입소문 때문이었습니다.
But I guess the reason why this book was becoming still popularity, becoming popular, more popular, and getting build the popularity is because those readers who read this book just spread the news to other people. I think that's the secret.
한국의 유명 전자책에 밀리의 서재라는 유명 전자책에 한 줄 리뷰가 6,000개가 넘습니다.
품절 리뷰만
한 줄 리뷰.
한 줄 리뷰. 예. There's an e-book platform called the bookshelf of Mili in Korean the Internet Society, and there was like a one-line review of about this book. My book was 6,000 reviews.
It's amazing.
That was amazing for me.
그러니까 굳이 말씀드리자면 여러분이 여기 작가 지망생도 아실 텐데 문학은 그러니까 소설은 예술품이기도 하지만 문학 콘텐츠 상품이기도 합니다.
So in a way, a story is an artwork, but it's also a content in this modern world. It can be made into a good content for internet world.
모든 콘텐츠는 상품성이 있어야 됩니다. 그러니까
All the content, stories, or whatever items that can be sold on the internet, they have to have a commercial success factor.
그래서 독자들이 만족할 수 있는 문화 상품으로서 여러분의 콘텐츠가 기능한다면 인기를 얻을 수 있을 수도 있을 것입니다.
So probably this kind of if something gets popular on the internet or the content industry, it will be maybe something that can sell well. Should be maybe found in those stories. That's what I think.
And I think that's a great example of how social media can actually support books rather than act as a competition for it. So that's great.
Sure, it is.
So I think our time has come to an end. Thank you, Mr. Kim, for all your wonderful insights and your beautiful presence here. Thank you, everyone, for being here, for your questions and your time. Thank you.
감사합니다.